In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Warning. This show is recorded live and is presented unedited. It is not safe for work. Anyone lacking a sense of humor, young children, my parents, or anyone who would confuse our on-camera characters with the people we actually are in real life. Hey folks, 13 here, and we're about to play Space Engineers. Comment, like, subscribe, participate, always remember to share, do the important stuff that keeps this show going and this channel growing, and enjoy. And in this episode, this is kind of a special episode, we're specifically looking at the programming block, and I just put into this the code from the kind of Steam example where it's supposed to make the lights blink. And I did it a moment ago, and it did not work, but I think I made a noticeable mistake. Actually, I did make a noticeable mistake. I didn't go through the logic of the thing. Oh no, they're not blinking. They should all be blinking. Every single one of these bastards. Every light on the ship should be blinking. Why are you off? Were you damaged? You're off. You're off. You're off. You're off. You're off. You're off, but I think you were off. Okay, so let's see if it's doing anything. Ghost ship. As I'm walking around, I think they may be changing. I don't know. Here, let's see. Let's figure out what the hell's going on. Woo! Hey! That's my ship back there. Is my jetpack on or off? It's on now. I love that hallway. I do. In old episodes, we were building the ship, and that hallway used to have a lot of machinery at the end of it, and there's some funny stuff that has happened from people firing themselves down the hallway. Alright, so let me drop this down. Not in the machinima episodes, but we've been building the ship for a long time. We just started actually calling it the machinima set and mods for machinima and stuff, because that's where we're going with the ship. Eventually, the ship will go through the galaxy supporting racers who race spaceships and engineers who are trying to kill them. Alright, so let me get back into this thing. First, I may not have said run. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me turn that off, though. I also don't know if I have scripts of it running, so if this doesn't work, I'm going to check that out too. But let's turn everybody off and then on. Is that currently off or is that on? Now it's on. Or I can press on. There it is on. Okay, I'm gonna do this real quick because I'm an idiot. The disco lights may be screwing everything up because the disco lights are programmed to do some crazy stuff. I almost should have made a copy of the save file before I came into here to mess with things, but no. But yeah, the disco lights may be screwing things up. They're programmed to do some pretty crazy things. Alright, so in theory, either all the lights in the ship are off or on, but either way, I think they've been cycled. Ouch, that's my cabeza. Is that music too loud? Let me check on that. No, I think it's good. Is it too loud? Am I competing with the music? I should just enunciate and speak up and put energy and conviction into my art here. Wow. Okay, that's That might be a design flaw. Alright, oh, they're all on. Everybody's on. Everybody's on. There's no broken lights, they're all on. Yes, they are. I love flying down the hallway. It's a huge hallway. Absolutely. No shit. Oh, I wasn't flying. Now I'm flying. It's a huge hallway. I'm not sure if the ship really justifies this big of a hallway. Oh, I stopped myself. Cool. Okay, let's go. Actually, let's walk is the gravity-bound walk. We need to put some supports under those stairs so they look a little supported. Hey, Mad Mike's on. Hey, Mad Mike. Why don't you come into the episode, man? You can keep building in the background while I tinker with the programming block or programmable block. You want to play, Mad Mike? I'm gonna send you a chat. I like Mike. He's a lot of fun. I'm gonna send him a chat here. And you guys are always welcome to play with us. The machinima is for you guys. I want your participation out of that. I say participate every show, don't I? And that means, you know, show up and play. If you want to know how that's done, reach out to me and I'll let you know. But it's pretty easy. It really is. We facilitate play. It's one of the reasons we do the posting of the schedule in advance, so you guys know where to meet us. Let's see. Is Mike on here? Yep. Okay, cool. I sent Mike a chat invite. Thanks for your patience, guys, while I was doing that. You're the best audience ever! Now, okay, they're all on, right? They're all on. They're all on. Good. Let's do this. Okay. Now, let's turn this on. I turned it on. I'm not going to hit run. I want to explore. I require exploration out of this deal. I was taking the really long route. Hey, how's it going, Mike? Okay, it's not running.
Hey, dude, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I've got code this time. The example has code for turning the lights on and off, and that's similar to what I want to do. We'll have to really build on that to make my disco light program with all its flashing waves and stuff, but
got you on a sodden time now. I can't watch and listen.
Oh,
there's two different things going on.
Wait, Mike, let me well, come in the game. Play, Mike.
Yeah, alright, yeah, I'll join in.
Yeah, come build some stuff.
I'll be there in a minute. Carry on chatting.
Alright, so we'll run the program this time. Now we have ran the program, and it is runned. If any of the lights are off at all, then I have enough, I think, to... Yes, okay. I think I have enough to now try to figure out how to get a hold of the disco lights, specifically. God help me, I want to actually destroy all of the disco lights. That's what I'm going to do next, is I'm going to destroy every disco light. Oh man, yeah, that's sweet. Okay, so the code does work. Let's look at the code before I start destroying disco lights. A lot of lights in the hallway are off there. Hey! That was the seat that's... Oh, I love you can't die in creative mode, huh?
No.
Oh, I got it. Sorry, guys, I got to do this once. I've never played in creative mode and really just been an ass. Oh, yes. I got to do that one more time. Into the back of the seat.
You can blow your ship up, though.
Oh.
Ship up, though.
Oh.
You just can't die, so...
Oh. That was the arc reactor that I just pounded myself into at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Let's go fix that.
Yeah, I don't think it would take you as fuel, man.
Yes, okay, well...
You might come out smelling the bacon, though.
Let's not be an idiot around the arc reactor. It's still in good shape. It's still happy. Okay. Sorry, arc reactor. I'm just gonna go this way now.
The thing with this programming at the moment, though, 13, is no one really knows what to do with it. I mean, what is it useful for?
Oh, this is what we're gonna do. First of all,
I think inventory sorting is a good one.
Oh yeah, well I was thinking transformers. First, we're gonna make the disco lights do their thing, and then later we know that we want this ship to like eat asteroids, right? And I even talked about how I wanted almost like a mouthpiece or something.
Yeah.
And what we're gonna do is we're going to make some kind of shark or something out of this thing, and I'm gonna do the modeling for the teeth, and the teeth will be like drills that don't move, and they'll just emit light, and then as you chomp the front end of the shark, it'll kind of, you know, smash its way through the asteroid and stuff, and all that is cool stuff to do with the programming, the mouth movement, and the firing off of the teeth and all that.
It can be done. I wouldn't want to be the guy to do it, but it can be done.
Well, I don't think it's going to be that hard. The hard part will be modeling the ship to make it so the jaw doesn't look weird, because it's altogether too easy to get.
Yeah, you got at some point you got to have my arch nemesis, which is pistons and rotors. At some point, you're gonna have to involve a piston or a rotor.
Yeah, well, rotor for sure. If you can rotate things, we got to have a mouth that like.
Yeah, the hinges are great, but there's this little trick you got to do first. You've got to, if you're gonna have two motors, you've got to merge them together with a couple of merge blocks.
Oh, like Mike knows.
Play with the rotor offset and get them to merge. Then once they're synchronized, they'll work a door, but otherwise they'll just fly to pieces, man.
Mike knows a trick. That means that he's the best guy to build the jaws.
No.
Mike can do it. He knows how to do it. That's awesome, dude.
It's
awesome.
just going to be a
labor
of love, I suppose.
Yeah, well, but we're going to do that. We're going to use programming to make the teeth light up as they close down on things. And when we're all done, it'll be cool. The programming blocks are how we're going to... So when we're done with this machinima thing, some people are going to shoot live, like me, and others are going to take the footage and edit it together. So from my angle, you'll see retakes and all of that weird stuff, and mine will almost be the blooper reel, which is so fitting. And I distracted myself. I looked at the code. That's enough about the mission.
I can actually see your future, 13. I think you're going to have a crash course in motors.
Oh, yeah. I'm having a crash course in code right now. So...
Yeah, you've got an advantage over some. You know a little bit at least. At least you know what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. So the disclaimer. A little over a year ago, I made about a year and a half ago, I made a game for the Xbox Live Indie Marketplace. It was a 2D shooter. It was a puzzle version of Asteroids. It was done in C#, the very same language that this is done in. And before that, I got a degree in programming and stuff. Often the roles that I do are engineering roles, and they don't require code. They're a different kind of engineering. In fact, I'm looking at taking on roles as a video engineer right now, kind of doing all of the stuff that I do for this channel, just not doing it for this channel. So all of that being said, I know of code, and I've coded, and I've made magic happen, but a lot of it has fled from my brain. It's been a long year of other skill building, so here we go. Let's learn about code together. So here we have the main method, main function of the program. We shall look at that in just a minute. I don't like that we don't have... this is actually kind of not pretty to look at. Let me do us a favor. Let me do something to facilitate this. Let me pull this over here.
Yeah, it's not my biggest subject, see. I really only briefly skipped over it. I mean, my stepdad he worked with the stuff, so yeah, he knows it in and out, but not me.
Well, what I've thrown onto the screen here, and I don't know if you guys can see this. This might be small text for you. I hope it's not small text for you. If it is, I'm really sorry. I don't know. Can I make this bigger if I control all, or no, it's view. Where's the I'm blind settings? Because it would be nice to zoom in. Just a little zooming. Let's see. View always on top. Zoom. Okay. Zoom in. Control plus mouse wheel. You know what? I almost frickin' tried that. I don't believe I didn't just try that. So dumb I didn't try that. Alright, is that too much? Can you see that? You can see that. I think you can see that. Alright, so what we got here on the first line is, actually, no. First we'll talk about the main and stuff. Okay. So, a program is a list of instructions. All programs that are object-oriented in the language of C# have one main program, and that main program can reach out and grab other pieces of programs and references to other pieces of programs and concepts of other pieces of programs and put them in boxes and stuff, but there's one main piece, and that main piece is where all the, like, think of it as the tree, the trunk of the tree, or the brain of the dog, one of those two, and everything is completely explanatory from there. All of the functions that the thing reaches out to are either branches or leaves or tails or feet or, you know, whatever. So
Yeah,
this
kind
is
of with you on that.
this is the main part of the program. And from here we will do stuff. Now, when we program, there's this important thing called scope. And right now, the concept of scope that we're looking at isn't a mouthwash, but it's more the concept that within these two brackets, this one and its little pair lights up red, because this is such a nice, it's Notepad++. It's great open software, or open source software. It's fun for programming. I like to program in Visual Studio too, but Notepad++ won the day today. So, we have these curly brackets, and everything within the curly brackets is in scope. So if we were to create a variable somewhere up here, like we do somewhere here, like here, but we'll explain that in a moment. This variable right here, I'll explain all of it later, but it's called all on. All on is only visible, if I click on it, you can see all on is only visible within the main, right? But these variables up here, this is string, a name equals something. We have bool, a name equals something. So these might be similar, and they are. We'll get into that. Right here, we're declaring a string. A string is a list of numbers, numbers or letters. Characters, numbers, letters, maybe other characters. There's hamburgers, even if that existed on the keyboard, but it doesn't. It may be, you know, pound sign or whatnot. The letters, numbers, characters, we'll call them because they are characters, exist in the string in like a list, like a word. So a string represents that concept. So we have that concept, string, and we call it action name base, and we call it on and off, right? We're going to make that happen on or off. And this string, this is the actual set of characters that's contained here. Characters that are contained is on, off. And that's same down here. We have on, off, on, underscore. And I think there's actually a problem with these names that I want to try to identify in code, because down here we take this action name base, which is on, off, and then we add on or off, and I'll get around to that. Anyway, we make this variable called action name base, and I highlight it just like I did down here, and it shows us where it's used. And we can see that even though it's declared out here, it's used in the main. And you may ask why. If I do this, those ones also are used in the main, but down here also in this other, see, we have a new scope, right? We talked about scope. This is the main scope up here. Up here, if we light up these, I want that. That's important. If I light up those and they pair up like that, you can see the scope of the main function. Void, main, this is function. And this is also a function. It's got different stuff going on. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Maybe my private public things in my last episode caused problems. That's not important. That's a thought that just kind of drifted through my head. Down here in this function called test. Oh man, I'm a true geek. Asthma sucks. Anyway, down here, void test, brackety things, information we'll get to. This is another function, and this is another scope. So we have scope here and scope here. But if we come up here and highlight this variable, we see that it's used in the scope here and the scope there. But earlier we just talked about the concept that if you declare a variable within a scope, I'm getting you sped up on programming as quickly as possible. For those of you who know this, I'm sorry, man. Or lady, ma'am, mixture. Anyway,
you never know.
Yeah, you never know. So back in the main here, if I highlight all on, I can see that lights up in the main. That's where it's declared. It's only used there. If I come down here and I light up value where it's declared, it only exists here. Well, these guys that are outside of the main, before the main, have a different scope. They are visible to everyone. Everyone can see them. And you might ask yourself, well, why don't we just declare them all up there? And it's because you don't want everyone to see everything. You want to choose who can see your naughty bits, right?
You see what I'm doing while you're talking? Come out of that for a second and look at me.
Let me look.
Unless you're in the middle of a bit of code. So.
No. It's fun. We're gonna go see what's going on.
Talking away and I'm
that's hilarious. Okay, I need to grab.
Going for all these animations. Yeah, so sorry, carry on. I interrupted you now.
No, that's nice. We're gonna need all of those for the animation. And I'm gonna build that Crichton head, by the way. You said I should build a Crichton head.
I think nobody's done it. I don't think.
I want to do
a Crichton head out there.
I want to do them all. ISO.
Great. You'd have to take the backpack off though. Crichton don't need the backpack.
No, I'm gonna do complete models. Bottom to top,
cool.
Not just the head. I want bottom to top. Different heights and everything. I have the skill. I just have to wake this stuff up. I know how to do so many things that sometimes the older skills, or even skills of 6 months ago, will go quiet, but I can wake them back up pretty fast. Anyway, back to the code. It's nice that you're sitting there and ready for the lecture, and I'll bring the code back up. Now, back to the variables. See, we've highlighted this, and it's in this global space. Everybody can see it. You don't want to declare all your variables up here because you want control over who can see your naughty bits, and that's like your private stuff.
For the extra views, didn't you? Because I'm going to have to go in and watch this now, aren't you? An extra view.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, man. I'll just have to go. I can't. I'm trying to visualize what you're doing. I'm going to have to go and watch it. I remember after we finished. I'm going to go back and watch it from the beginning now.
Wait. I got an even better compromise here. We're in chat, right? Let me pull up the chat window, and I'll share my right screen, and then you can just see everything going on. Let's see, which screen is that? Screen 1. Okay. There, in the chat window, you just got real time. Okay, so that's how I do it with developers when I'm doing the games, the interviews. So anyhow,
all right, yeah, there you go, I got it.
Back into code here. So we have 2 strings. We talked about strings. I don't want to go back over what I said 5 minutes ago because I can actually remember it this time. And in random, right here, we've created a kind of variable called random. And random is like a little, it's an object. We'll call it a little snippet of code. An object is like, a programming object can be a thing. Like if you had a car and you made it a programming object as the car, you could make the car know how many doors it had. Just a variable. The 4 is stored in a variable set called doors, and you have 4 doors. And then the number of wheels stored in a variable called wheels of 4. And then you could also have things like acceleration. You could have the rate by which the vehicle accelerated. So if you multiplied a number into that, then you'd get how fast the car was accelerating. And you could have a little bit of programming that even did that calculation. So you could say, hey car, how fast are you going? If you're going for like you know, 10 minutes at the rate of acceleration you're going at. Whatever you want to do, you could program that into the function. The function will, or sorry, into the object. The object will know how to be a car depending on how intelligently you make that object. Well, random is an object, and random knows how to make random numbers.
It's an object in itself, yeah?
Yeah, so we got this little, we're declaring one of those objects, random, as RND, and this is not my code, I need to put that out there. This is the code example that comes with the video. I just watched the video and I got it all down. Now here's the kicker. The very last line of the code in the video is obscured. And I think I figured out what that piece is. I think I have this thing working. I might not. It's not like blinking every light in the ship. And that might be because the disco lights may be affecting how many of the lights switch when I click the run button. I should actually have Mike stand in the hallway and I should press
I'm just
run.
going to go downstairs, mate. I'm just switching now to go downstairs.
Oh, if you could stand in the hallway, I'm going to press run over and over. And we'll see if the lights in the hallway change.
Yeah, I could see that there was distinct groups going on. It's just they weren't flashing. They're just like it's like it's not repeating itself. Yeah, they are. They're changing. I think.
I'm
There's one out
gonna
now.
1, 2, 3, click. 1,
Yep.
2, 3, click. 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
click.
They
So
are
that-
randomising.
Okay.
They are randomising. They're just not looping.
Yeah,
Every time
there's-
you click, they change.
There's no loop in the code, and I'm an idiot for not seeing that. But I didn't know if the
that's
game
the only
loop.
thing missing.
I didn't know if the game loop was gonna naturally pick the code up and loop it. That's awesome. I'm a programmer. I completely feel like I know what this code does. Let me get back.
Hang
to the
on,
code
no,
and
they are working random. They are actually, if you come down here and look, they are actually, it was just because there's so many lights, it took me a while to see the effect. But
Oh,
they
they-
are actually working random.
Oh, are they continuing to change?
They're continuing, yeah.
Are you not just in the disco?
No, I was in there earlier, practicing some of my moves, mate, but no. I think they were randomising, they might have stopped now.
Well, I was clicking it over and over.
Yeah, you might have been clicking it. Yeah, I think there's a loop missing.
Okay, and that's good because I still don't know how the loop works. Like in X and A, which I made Astropuzz in. Which Astropuzz is my little game on the Xbox 360 indie games. It's all right. If anybody ever looks at it and says, "Hey, this is great. You got to remake this thing," I could see remaking it. I think I'd be really down to make it as a touch game. But if you want to know about that, it's in the link in every game. Every one. I need to do an interview with myself because the video that I have for that is terrible. I had bad equipment back then. But I need to. The description has the link, and you can go check that out. And we'll get back to this now. Random. That's the show. The show is so random. We're all over the place. It'll be amazing if we make it through the code. We totally won't. The random object up here, we create a new random, and then down here we create a list. And when you make a list, you have to make it list a specific type of thing, or you can make it list a specific type of thing. And in this case, we're listing these things called IMyTerminal block. And IMyTerminal block, I believe, is the base block for all the blocks in the game. And what base means is, let's say you're making a hot fudge sundae, right? And you put down the ice cream, that's the base inheritance. The base.
I think you have to put your own information in there, don't you?
In what?
Possibly, where it says action name base and my terminal block. Is that specific to you, or is that just a general programming term?
Oh no, I'll explain that in just a minute. That's what I'm explaining now.
Okay, sorry.
So IMyTerminal block is the base of the inheritance. It's the simplest version. Let's say that's the first scoop of ice cream in the bowl. Upon that ice cream, you put the hot fudge. And the hot fudge is beautiful and wonderful. And at that point, you have the second step. And let's say that through an amazing occurrence of time and space, when you put the hot fudge on the ice cream, the original ice cream appeared in a bowl next to it. So you had ice cream with no hot fudge, and then you had ice cream with hot fudge, and they were the same ice cream in different kind of states. And we'll picture inheritance that way, because what I'm trying to say is when you're doing programming inheritance, the base object has the beginnings of what the finished object will look like, and the finished object can have access to every part of every object upon which it is built. So if you kept this analogy going and you put nuts on top of the hot fudge, and the nuts appeared as its own version, I guess I should have gone that way from that end of the stack, then you'd have plain ice cream with hot fudge, ice cream with hot fudge and nuts. You now have 3 bowls, and you have 3 different objects, each similar to each other, and in programming they would directly inherit from each other, so that the one with nuts has access to all the kinds of stuff that the empty bowl does, but the empty bowl does not have access, or not the empty bowl, but the plain ice cream does not have access to what it would be like to have fudge and nuts. And I hope that wasn't the worst way ever to explain inheritance, but I'm hungry. And so this list object, the kind of list, this is also an object, as we explained, and the kind of object we're going to make, the kind of list, we explained a little bit what a string is and how it's a list of characters, like a word. Well, in this case, a list is like a list of boxes, and those boxes can be filled with all the same kind of item. So you want to walk up and you want to write on the front of the box, like, you know, underwear. And on every box is the word underwear. You write it on the first box, and it just streams down the line of all the boxes. Boom, they're all underwear boxes. And every box has underwear in them. And you're really, really hoping none of them has that brown line, because this is becoming some terrible nightmare where an inspector is walking down the list of boxes looking at the underwear, trying to determine if you have properly taken care of yourself. I don't know where that came from, but it's where I went. So we have this list.
Very Freudian.
Yeah, really Freudian for sure. So we have this. I don't wear underwear, so I don't know where any of that came from. So we have this long line of boxes, right? And each one can have underwear put in it. So that's what this list is. And in our long line of boxes, we can put in them something called MyTerminalBlock, and that's the base inheritance for every kind of block in the game. All the kinds of blocks in the game have in common everything that is an MyTerminalBlock. And we're going to make... Go ahead.
Can I just ask a question here, 13?
Yeah.
What is the part of this code that, for instance, you know, you got the lights there, say you wanted to randomly flash all the thrusters, what would you be changing? The bit where it says my lighting block? Is that the line? And then what would you do? Just say, for instance, just to get thrusters instead of lights, or doors. You want all the doors to open and close. Randomly.
You make me really, really wish we had another version of our world, or at least the whole ship blueprinted, because I would love. It would be so easy. I could change one word, and all of the thrusters would randomly fire every time I pressed the run button. The ship would take off a different direction.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And the gyros as well. Just get the ship to randomly spin all over the place.
Yeah, I could see writing. So when I first thought about the programming block, I thought of the name Friend or Foe, and how we could have an AI on the ship that has kind of a ghost in the machine, and it randomly does some things that can be effed up. And I could make it such that on a very small percentage of chance, the thrusters would randomly fire for a certain period of time in a loop.
Or a door would try and kill you, yeah. Every
5 seconds, the thrusters would fire a new direction for about a minute and a half. And then you'd just be hoping. All right, so we'll think about that.
Imagine if you maliciously planted that onto someone's ship. That'd be great. Random gyros and random thrust in certain directions would be all over the place. Try flying that.
we could simulate an episode where a virus has taken over the ship. We're gonna have so much fun with this programming block. I love Space Engineers. I can't believe there was a time when I struggled with this game.
It's been a long time coming, actually, that programming block. They've been talking about it since last year.
It's a hard thing to do.
Halfway through last year.
That's not an easy thing to do.
Well, it has to be contained in its own right, doesn't it? Because you can't just run random code on your computer and, you know, people are going to obviously find exploits for it.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Okay, so back to the code real quick. So we talked about the base object. We talked about the list of objects. This line just makes us a list of objects called blocks. So now those are our variables that are accessible by everyone. Down in the void main, that's our main body of the program, and boy am I losing my voice. We have blocks, and blocks is just this list. And on blocks we have a piece of code, a small program. Blocks is the object, right? We have the list, it's an object. That object has a small piece of code that we can access that will do a specific task for us, and that's called a function or a method, depending on who you are or what program language you're using or how drunk you are. So blocks.clear, it clears the list. When you're working with a list, it's a good idea to clear the thing right away, right? So the next line here is grid terminal system. And I am guessing that grid terminal system is the name for the blocks networked to the control panel. And that's saying that if you had a ship docked to the station, bad example.
Well, I don't think it would be affected, would it?
If Mike cut the ship in half, I wouldn't have access to the thrusters anymore, because they would no longer be part of this
on that
grid terminal system. So grid terminal system is an object, and it's an object that it's a global object. It's an object that there's only one of for this particular terminal. It can only be created once, so it's been created for us, and it's out there for us to use. We don't have to make a new one. That's the best way I can think of explaining exactly how you have access to this. So the dot, the period, we experienced the period up here with the clear method. We know that means that we're going to be accessing something, right? Some kind of little piece of code that's attached to a grid terminal system type object. And that piece of code is called get blocks of type. And I bet you can figure out what that is, because you're fucking brilliant. You're brilliant. You're a good lad or lady. And yeah, if we put in my lighting block there, I get a list of blocks type that is of my lighting block. Now, Mike was asking about how we could access all the thrusters. And if I put my thruster block, then that would happen. Now let's put my door block in here. In fact, did I have access to door block all the way? No, I didn't. Okay. Let's put my door block. Actually, let's not mess with this. This is our good code. This is the code that we don't want to mess with because it won't help us any to mess with that. Let's mess with this code. This is where dangerous things can happen. Like we can put thrusters in there and see what happens.
I just realised where you're going to get your loop from, by the way. Timer block. Timer block.
Oh.
You press run and it will just keep looping.
Is there such a thing as a timer block?
It's a timer block.
I could just write a loop in code though.
Alright, yeah. That would probably be just as good then.
Yeah, it'd be nice and straightforward. But I like the concept of the timer block, and here's why. No, Mike, your idea is better than my idea, and here is why.
See, the thing with the timer block, you can have up to 100 things going off at once.
And you
could have 100 programs of code if you had 100 programming blocks.
And yeah, and you have control over the timing without having to go into code. So you could go
to find that on your list now anyway.
Yeah, so let me before I do that though, I want to try to mess with our doors. So my door block. And let's see if we can get some doors to open and close. Let's check the code. Uh-oh. There's no such thing as my door block. Could not be found. So, it just so happens that on my other screen, I have the code, or I have stuff I can look at. I'm gonna see what we got. See if I can find in the documents antenna, assembler, battery, beacon, button. That'd be fun. Make it so the ship's beacon randomly turns on and off. Door. My door. Is it just my door? Okay. Alright, I can accept that. Space Engineers, where are you? Here you are. I want back over here though. Okay, now, Space Engineers, where are you? My door.
Yeah, this is going to be the start of a really good Scooby-Doo sketch if we can get all the doors to open and close.
That works. Okay, now I'm gonna... Mike, are you in the hallway?
I'm in the hallway.
Okay. Anything?
Nothing yet.
I'll try it again.
Mind you, there's that many doors, it'd be hard to spot.
Well, the ones...
any of them doing anything.
Okay. Well, we can
Yeah,
try.
One door shut. There is a door shut, but
here. Let's go make all the let's make all the doors consistent. Let's run around and shut all the doors.
you just group select them and open and close.
Oh, I suppose so, huh? All right. If we want to do it the easy way that makes sense and stuff.
Well, I've got a door that's switched. I've got a door that's not responding to me down here.
Oh, that might not belong. Let me grab everything and make sure it belongs to everybody.
It might be that program you just used. It might be locked.
There we go. No, I made a door. I made several doors that you probably wouldn't have had access to.
No, it's switched off. The block's toggled off.
Okay, all the blocks are off. Now, go ahead and turn
I'm wondering if that random program is actually turning the blocks off and on instead of opening and closing them.
Oh, you're correct.
Because it has actually switched off. The actual door block itself was switched off.
Yeah, you're correct. Okay.
How do we sort that?
I can figure that out. Just give me a half a second. That's not code that I can write in this episode, but that's not hard code to do because I'll explain how that's done instead of fixing these doors. I want to turn all the doors back on at some point, but right now I'm going to explain to the good folks at home. Give me code. There we go. I said code. Thank you. So, in code, if I was to have the doors selected, if we continue to look through our code, up in the beginning of the doohickey here, we had these, the action base name on off and the action name on off underscore on. That creates, for these booleans, one called on or all on, we have true, and one boolean called all off, we have false. We have a quick loop here. So these variables are booleans. Sorry, I'm looking at the time and I'm getting nervous, and I should not try to rush through. I'm not going to have the time to explain what a for loop is in this episode. So I'm just going to go ahead.
We just got to figure out what is open and closed for these doors, and then you can do it. Yeah.
I'm going to find the command real quick that opens and closes them.
Could be as simple as open and close as well.
Okay, get action with name, action type, or action name. So up here I have on off for action name. I have on off underscore on. And if you look at the documentation, I bet you're going to see that the action name on off underscore on is in reference to turning a block on and off.
The action itself, which is at the top, yeah?
Yeah, but if
That's
I changed... Let me take a quick stab at this. I may actually be able to quickly code this to work, to fix what we had. So we have the doors, right? So under this action base name, let's try changing this action base name to open close underscore open, and we'll see if that works. And if that doesn't work, we'll try the other variation of that. So check the code. It compiled. So let's see if that works.
It likes it, yeah.
Are you around doors?
Yeah, I'm in the corridor, hang on. It's got a bit of black screen as I've switched over, but yeah, go on. I'm in the corridor.
Okay, and I'm just kind of rhythmically clicking it. Doors should be opening and shutting.
Or a case of listening for him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It hasn't rejected it though, is it? It hasn't rejected the code.
It hasn't, but because that's a string, it might not. It might fail at runtime, and I don't know how runtime
Yeah, hang on, this
errors are
door's
handled.
shut again. The same door is shut again. I left it open.
Okay, so you think maybe it is switching some stuff.
Hit that code again.
Yeah, I'm hitting it. It won't necessarily open that door. It'll randomly pick a door out of all the doors and open
Oh
it.
shit, there's loads of doors. There's doors all over the place. So
I know, it's impossible. Alright, well folks, thanks so much for joining us.
It was interesting.
I hope you like it. If you like this episode, then hit that like button and let us know in a comment that you want us to continue this. I can continue this. I love code, and I don't know if I sound like an idiot up here, but I try to make it fun for you. So
I certainly learned a little bit anyway about how the whole code thing works.
Well, that's cool. That's encouragement enough to keep going.
Because they're playing their cards tight to chess with Keen House software. They're not really. They're just saying, "Oh yeah, it's C#," and then they're just kind of leaving you to it. But so unless you know C#, you're up galloping up diarrhea without a diarrhea drive without a saddle.
Well, I could totally be leading people off kilter, that's for sure. But we'll do our best.
Oh,
Thanks
sure.
so much for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Mike.
No worries, mate.
Comment, like, subscribe, participate. Always remember to share. Do the important stuff that keeps this show going and this channel growing. And we'll see you next time. And next time we'll be in about 14 minutes for an episode of PlanetSide 2. It's free, it's fun, it is freaking crazy, and I need somebody to cover my ass. So join us. We'll see you then.
Alright, laters, bye.
Later.